Today, I want to share with you how I'm building my 2022 Notion dashboard. I really like this time of year because not only can I look at last year's dashboard and analyze all of the roadblocks and little successes I faced, but also I can see what I need to change for next year. Before we get into it, I did just release my Notion formula course the day you're watching this. So there will be a link down in the description for that, in addition to some of the templates I used inside of this dashboard. Let's get right into it. I'm calling it my 2022 home base. This looks a lot like, and is almost identical to my 2021 dashboard, actually. At the top, I have an Indify widget. I'll leave a link down below to Indify.co's Notion widgets. They're really great. This is just a weather report for the entire week in my area. Now, over to the right-hand side, I have a list of dates which show me just this week in my 2022 database. My 2022 database, let's go right into it, open as page, is giving me a pre-filled database with every day in 2022, and I've divided it into different months, like from January to December. And they all have neat little cover images. So basically how I'm able to get these, cover images here, if I go to properties and go to card preview, if you have a files and media property, if you don't already know, you can actually make that your cover image. So if I go into one of these pages, I don't need a cover image up here. I don't need an image in the body of the page. I can keep it blank, just create a files and media property and upload the image. And in fact, I have different templates in the body of the page that you can create. I made one for each month that has its own image for each month. I included in every page a timetable with a plain table. And if you don't know, this was a recent update, the plain tables, but even more recent, the ability to color rows and columns. I have a blue one here, and that's just going to the menu and color, and you can change it. I have a timetable here from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., the task, and then remember. So if there's any extra notes associated with the task or group of tasks to put in there. So what I'm doing this year is trying to minimize my task management. I'm trying to create a task management system that doesn't make me create tasks that are kind of like go walk the dog, go to the gym, things that are going to keep happening over and over again, or just small little tasks that aren't attached to goals. I don't want at the end of the year seeing over 1,000 entries that have just random tasks that I absolutely don't need to be keeping in my system. I do have other views here. I'm going to be utilizing the sidebar. You'll notice that I've toggled on this star at the top of my page that is making it a favorites page, which will be located in the sidebar under favorites. And if I toggle it down, I can see all of the databases associated with this homepage for quick access. So again, in 2022, I have all of the months. I also have a section for this week, and I have a filter here that's using a formula that identifies if the date in question does land in the week I'm in right now, and that's going to be between Monday and Sunday. I'll show you really quick. This formula will be available to look at in that link below, but essentially I'm saying format the date to capital W and make sure it equals formatting the date to now to capital W. And capital W will give you a week number in the year between Monday and Sunday, and a lowercase w will be Sunday through Saturday. Because I am starting in 2021 a little bit with this calendar, I want to differentiate between 2021 and 2022. I have a page that I made called Step 1 Timetable. And this is prompting me in here to start scheduling tasks either for today or the rest of the week. So I have a filter here again where I'm linking to 2022 database by going / linked database and searching for it. So in this case, 2022. And I created a filter again that says this week, that formula is checked, and I sorted by date ascending. So that's step 1 in the morning. Before I go ahead and do anything else, I want to make sure all of my tasks are ready. We'll get to step 2 in a moment. I also have a goals database. So going to my homepage, the goals database is here. Like I said, I'm trying to minimize tasks. I don't want to clutter a database, but I do want a database to track broader goals. And by the way, this is also a template that I've published in the past. Actually, I think I published it in the summer, so I'll leave a link to this one down below too. I didn't really do much tweaking, so it should be pretty much what you're seeing here. So let's look at this very ambitious goal, 40,000 YouTube subs. Here are some of the properties in this database. I have a time started or a date started where I generally feel I want to start this process. A category, right now I only have 2, Red Gregory and personal. A subcategory, of course, YouTube. Difficulty, I'd say it's pretty high. I'd have to pretty much double my sub count. Time span, I'll give it a year. I have a desired end formula here. And let's take a look at it. It's actually not too crazy, but what it does is really cool. So whenever you create a new time span select property, and you can create new ones. Maybe this goal, I want to accomplish it in 5 years. This desired end formula will calculate from the start date 5 years. I can put in 3 weeks, it'll add 3 weeks. For this, I want 1 year. And the reason why I say 1 years is because when you use the date add function, it needs to have that S at the end. You could do something like 1 hours, 1 minutes, 2, by the way. So let's look at this formula. I'm again using that date add property to push dates forward. But I'm essentially adding to prop start, I'm adding this number. And this is just grabbing the number in time span. And actually, now that I look at this, this could actually be simplified to really just 2 number time span. I hope I'm right. I think I can just do this. Yeah, that works. Basically, I'm adding to start the number from time span. So even though time span is a select property, it's still a string. And if you nest that property inside of the to number function, it just grabs the number at the front of the string. How many, variables do I want to push this number? I'm then using this replace all function to extract just the string from that select property. I also have a desired outcome text property. So down below, via a template button, which you'll find in the body of the page, I have a section for keys to success. Keys to success are going to allow me to add sub goals to this major goal. Every time I add a new one here, it will automatically be a child of this goal. Now this invest here, this roll up is coming from investment in the sub goals. So I can plug in, what am I willing to invest to make this sub goal happen? Like, do I need to get a subscription for a certain program? I'll maybe invest at the most $300 a year. And then I create this invest roll up, which I can configure to grab steps to success relation, which is what's connecting these two together. It is a hidden property. And then finding the property investment from keys to success, and then the sum. Done is taking this done checkbox, and every time I click it, that progress for the parent goal will go up and down. I also made a timeline view for this. I don't know if I love this, but what I did here is I went timeline by and made sure the start date was start and the end date was the desired end. Down below, I do have a section for my blogging. This is going to be my content calendar. On the side, I have blog post links and social post links. So I'm working with 2 databases. I'm working with a content calendar, which you'll see over here, and a promotional post database, which just collects all of my Twitter posts used for promoting my content. Not all of my tweets that I ever tweet, just the promotional ones. So I have some links to different database views. The first one in blog post is my content pipeline. This is giving me a pipeline between ideation to published. So how this pipeline works is, first of all, in ideation, I really want to make use of this And I actually do have a sidebar link that will help me with that. But other than that, this pipeline has a filter. So you can drag cards across it, of course, just like a Kanban. Now for the published section, over time, there's going to be a lot of published content that fills up over here. So I want a way to filter out some of the older published content. So I created a filter that looks like this, where published is after 1 week ago and status is published, or any other one of these select properties. And if you don't already know, in grouping, you can color the columns. Let's look at the next link. I have content reception. So inside of each card, I have the following properties. This is for each blog post. I have the title, the status, subheadline, because all of my articles have that, the meta description for SEO, and the link to the final blog post, category, which is my web categories, keywords. I'm actually going to change this into a relation property, and I'll show you where I'm going to connect it to in a moment. Planned work time. This is going to be for planning between what days approximately I want to work on this blog post, the date it's published, the reception it received. I can usually tell within the first couple to 3 days how well it went, either through Twitter or through Google search. I have images here. This is just the cover image that I used on my website. And I have promotional posts. So this is linked down in to the body of the page. And just like the sub goals and the parent goals in that other database, this always connects to the parent. So this is my promotional post that directly relates to this blog post. So I have a place, select menu, where is this promotional post going, post, the date it's posted, who I'm mentioning in the tweet, and a link to the tweet. And in the body of the page, I do have an embed. Down below, I have a post outline. So this is also a part of the template that gives me these callouts to describe the section in the blog post and then all of the text within that section. So this is a way to outline a post. Anyway, back to that view. This is the reception. So I'm taking the reception and I'm grouping it at the top here. And then I'm subgrouping by published date, sorting chronologically. Now the next thing I have is published calendar. This is just giving me a calendar view that is date by the published date. I do have a planning calendar. This is where I go to plan out content. What I usually do when I go and I plan a blog post is I try to at least fill out the status, the subheadline, the meta description, category, and tags. Now the social posts and all of the tweets that associate, I do have some views here. I have a published calendar. I have a social reception, just like with the content, and insert social analytics. So I am incorporating a lot of analytical views to these databases because at the end of the year, I want to be able to analyze all of my progress. So with these social posts, let's look at all of the property types for each tweet. I have likes, comments, and I have 2 different checkboxes here, which are formulas. So what I did is I created this system where I am going to fill analytics. I'm going to have a checkbox here to prompt me to fill out comments, likes, and reception of a given promotional post after 1 week has passed. So this checkbox will check only if 1 week has passed after it's been posted and the reception, likes, and comments are empty. So I haven't filled them out yet and it's been over a week. For repost, it's the same thing. So I want to start reposting promotional tweets to kind of get it out there more than once, which I have not done in 2021. I want to do a whole lot more next year. So I want to give it a good 3 weeks to start turning around these posts again and showing it to my audience. So what I did was I created another similar formula that says, in 3 weeks after posting, and reposted is unchecked. So if I were to check it, it would uncheck. And I'm pretty much finished with this promotional post. I'm probably not going to repost again, and it will be archived. So I have a link for Insert Social Analytics that just gives me a filter where that formula, Fill Analytics, is ticked on. It'll just give me a list, and I go ahead and I fill out the likes, the comments, and the reception. And actually, I can see most of that in my embed anyway. I can see down here it has 62 likes. So that's the idea there. And the same thing for repost. It's gathering all the posts I need to repromote. Now on the sidebar, I have a quick step process here. I showed you step 1. In the morning, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do that day, fill out some timetables. And then step 2 is content ideas. So I'm linking to my content calendar and making it a board view, and I'm able to add some ideas here. In the morning, I can drag it over to in progress if I want to do it that day. And then step 3 is checking promotions. So the same filter there where I'm just grabbing all of the tweets I need to promote or fill analytics of, just to check if I need to. Filter is fill analytics or repost is checked. Down below, I have my bookshelf. I have 2 different databases here, one for a bookshelf, where I'm plugging in all of the books, and then a genres database. So each book has the author, the date started, the date ended, so when I finished reading, a cover image, a rating, and the genre. So genre is a relation property, and this is grabbing from a list of genres, which are up here. This is grouped by alphabetical order. So the purpose for this is if this list grows over time, I would like to identify each genre by the letter it starts with. And what I'm doing is just grouping by name, and I'm making sure it's alphabetical and not exact. And then I'm sorting alphabetical, coloring the background, and hiding empty groups. You'll notice that inside of each card, you can see a whole list of cover images coming from the bookshelf database. So how I'm able to do this is with a roll-up. So in every body of the page, I do have a list that associates with the parent. This is also a template button. So what I'm doing is grabbing, from each book that associates with fiction, the covers. So in a roll-up, I can actually do that. Can grab books, the cover property, the files and media property, and just show original. And that list will keep growing. If you are trying to use a gallery view for something like this, it doesn't really work because the books will not wrap around in the card. They'll kind of go off. So if you do want them to wrap around, I would use a board view. I have different sections, so this is all the books I read in 2021. I'm going to make another view for 2022, and I do have a view for ratings. You may notice that you don't see a title in these cards. That's because I'm in Properties, going to Card Preview, going to the Cover, Files, and Media property, and then I'm toggling off Name, toggling off everything actually. So with views like Gallery and Board View, you can create these really minimal cards with just images. One last thing that I did not talk about, that is my keywords. So this is what I'm going to be connecting to my blog calendar. Whenever I indicate what keywords that a particular post is using, I'm going to use this keyword list. So I'm taking these keywords from last year, and I looked through my analytics for my blog and found that these were the top search keywords people were using to get to my website. So I made a list of them, went to Google Keyword Planner, and found some similar keywords and looked through the year. How popular are these keywords in quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4? How does that match up with my traffic on my website? And I found that really using and utilizing some of these hot keywords coming to my website more often in titles and the body of the page and posts are giving me more traction on Google. So I really wanted to systemize that part of the SEO optimization, and I'm going to keep adding to this. yeah, that is my entire dashboard right now. This was a long video. I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's go right into the outro. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I will be leaving links down in the description for templates that I used in this dashboard. Also a link to my formula course. And I'll see you guys the rest of the week on Twitter. Happy holidays if I don't see you before then. And I'll see you next time with maybe another Notion video, maybe a tour of my family tree, because I finally finished that project and it is quite a project. So if you want to see an example, look out for that. It most likely will be the next video. I'll see you then.